everybody. This is Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com.
And Victoria Tedesco.
Welcome to the show. Sorry we're late. We had the weather's been awful.
It's been rough.
We had a power surge right before we were getting ready to go on the air.
We had, over the past weekend, well, it rained literally the entire weekend.
No.
From night into day, like, there was no
Except for Halloween. Halloween was actually really
great.
nice.
Halloween was fantastic. But then the wind today was, like you just said, was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
At my school, we lost power for a little bit. I know your lights
Ours
flickered. Yeah. So, and in the area.
Which gave me hope. I was like, ooh.
But in the area, it's been bad. So, power surge right before we're about to go on, like 15 minutes ago?
I blame the Russians. Of course.
What, for election
It's almost election day. It's almost election day, so we got to get ready to blame the Russians for everything.
Stop. I can't.
You know how it is.
They're so funny.
You know how it be. Well, everybody, welcome to the show. CJ Bowman's already saying, all right, Jerry, I just popped in and got to prep for war, a.k.a. election day. Yeah. This is going to be... it's like so weird. It's like, this is like classic 2020. It just doesn't even feel like there's an election day coming up. Like,
no, everything...
Because like I'm not like getting myself geared up to go vote. I already voted by mail. I voted in September when I got the thing. It's like it just doesn't feel right, and we're probably not gonna have results until maybe like another week or so. When they start really tabulating all these votes.
Well, it's funny. I've been teaching my kids about the election.
Yeah.
And I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it, despite like maybe how controversial it could be, especially with these times.
Right.
I was like, I'm going to teach them about the election process and the candidates, and kind of go from there. We're having a mock election tomorrow in school. Oh, thank you. But what's funny about it is the fact that I said normally, like, you find out like in the middle of the night, and everything, but I was like, but not this year. I was like, this year we most likely will not find out for maybe another week. It could be a couple weeks, So, and they were like, what? And I was like, well, because, obviously with the pandemic, people are voting early and they have to make sure that all the ballots are in and everything. And they were like, oh, okay. Like, but it's, and then I was like, and then there could be an option for a recount and stuff. So, like.
No, don't say that. Don't even tell them that, because that's. I
did tell them that.
Terrifying in and of itself.
Well, it's happened in the past.
Recounts and stuff like
that. But it's happened in the past, so.
Well, yeah, it has happened in the past because people in Florida can't punch ballots. But in this case, there shouldn't be any, and it's going to be because everybody has to be a dickhead, but this is going to be the worst election of our entire lives, without question. I am not looking forward to this. I just want it to be over. Trump has made this fucking absolutely miserable. Biden is just blithering his way through this. It's like we have the two worst candidates that have ever appeared on a presidential ballot, other than Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump in 2016. It's like this is where we're at. This is the election that 2020 deserves, because it's going to come down. Nobody should be rooting for this thing to come down to the courts. Let me just say that. Everybody's like, oh, the mail is there's going to be tons and tons of fraud. It's like, oh, there was ballots cast out. It's like, yes, and on those extremely rare occasions when that happened, it was caught. The people were very much punished for that. I think the mailman who discarded some stuff is actually facing jail time, like years of jail time. Somebody else was accidentally throwing away ballots, and that got caught, and that person was removed from the election, the ballot counting process, and those ballots were counted. So all this talk about, look.
All right, can we stop?
No, I want to get this out because this is important. It's way more important than this ridiculous Raw.
I'd rather talk about Raw, though. I'm sick of politics.
No, I just want to say, just in the spirit of things, I just want everybody to know where I stand on this, because I think it is absolutely absurd that anybody would root for any type of this thing being contested in the courts, because you would just be, you're a fool. You just want democracy to die. It's like this country has never been the same since 2000, when the Supreme Court just decided the will of the people. That's not how this works. Our guy didn't win, so let's bring it to the courts because it's rigged. Oh, our guy won? It's not rigged. Don't count anything. Don't look at anything. It's okay. Like this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Like this talk of, I ordered something on eBay last week from another state, and it was here in a day. As soon as it was in the mail. There's nothing wrong with the mail system. That's only what dickheads want you to think, that there's something wrong with the mail system. There hasn't been anything wrong until this summer all of a sudden. Please give me a break. I can't wait for this thing to be over because I'm literally going crazy. I'm literally going crazy. Like with how with just the contention and the just my guy versus your guy thing. It's like I don't even care. I don't want either of them to be president. But Jesus Christ.
Tell them what happened with your school.
Yeah.
Who got third place?
My school. I mean, this is what's coming up for this country here. Placing third by a pretty sizable lead, by a pretty sizable number of votes, was Kanye West in the school.
He will not be on my mock ballot, just so you know.
In our school ballot. Somehow Kanye made it.
He won't be on mine, just so you know.
I don't know how that even
I didn't want to even
happening.
confuse them even more so, because I told you what one of my students said about the Electoral College.
Oh yeah,
The Electoral
ridiculous.
College. They were like, Mrs. Tedesco, no offense, but that sounds really stupid.
It's ridiculous. I'm sick and tired of the 96 people that combine North and South Dakota fucking deciding presidential elections. I can't even stomach that anymore.
So
it's
funny.
Like, it's insane. Not that I think that New York and California should be electing presidents either, but there has to be a better system. There just has to be. It's crazy.
Love it.
Man, I just hope whoever wins, it's decisive, there's no BS, and we can just start moving on. Because all this talk of fraud and this and that, I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. It's despicable. It's not. It is absolutely not befitting anybody running for the office of the presidency. Trump has absolutely tarnished the office with talk like this. And there are a lot of things that I agree with on Donald Trump. You know, like it's scary sometimes. Like when I think about like how much I agree with him on certain issues. But this is an absolute tarnishment. Anyway, I just had to get that out of the way. Now, speaking of the election, though, usually every time there's like a presidential election, WWE does something goofy on Raw, you know, the night before the election. This time, nothing. It was like nothing was going on whatsoever. I wonder if it's because Linda owns the Super PAC now or whatever.
Yeah, I would say so. I think like they don't want to even draw attention to it.
Yeah, I know.
Well, and also too, I think another reason why, not that anybody could really forget that there's an election tomorrow, but there was a lot of, you know, like performances, and they were on, like people were like, they were rallying tonight. So I think they didn't even want to be like, oh, I'm not going to watch Raw. I'm going to watch Lady Gaga perform, or I'm going to watch
Lady
Trump
Gaga
rally.
tonight?
Yeah, she performed right before like Biden spoke, and like right before his rallies. She did. She had like a whole like little mini concert type thing.
Oh, well.
In support of Biden.
But
then also
and
Trump.
that means what?
But also Trump, I think, had a rally in Pennsylvania again tonight, or no, in Carolina.
I don't know. Well, it could have been Pennsylvania, because that is very much a battleground state.
I don't know, but
I know they had Obama in Miami today.
Okay.
I think Biden was down in Florida too.
So he must have been traveling all over.
Oh yeah.
I don't know anything. I gotta be honest. Not that I don't keep up with it, but I don't keep up with it. Like, especially today.
I turned it off. I voted in September. I've been trying to avoid all politics in general, but now I've just been getting beaten over the head with absolutely ridiculous, stupid idiots on Facebook. This is the thing. I love civic engagement. I love that people are feeling excited about voting and, you know, getting involved in the process and executing their civic duty. But man, there are some really stupid people that are civically engaged that don't know anything about civics.
You would think it's funny. You think everybody has a degree in politics.
they got a degree in bullshit.
But whatever.
That's what they have a degree in.
Anyways,
it's amazing. You know, ever since they cut out, you know, civics and you know, teaching government in schools and high school and no, but I'm saying like the high school level, like actually being like a requirement. Like the people are stupid now. Like,
I
really.
teach them. I do. I teach
God.
civics and I teach government and all that.
I know you do, but you know, but if that's one of the only times they'll hear about it, and they're in second grade, then that's not good.
I will say this: when I did teach about the election back in 2016, right? I had a very, very good system with it. I really had them read both sides of issues in terms of education and healthcare and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids took it very seriously. They really did.
Right.
In the minds of a child, it's amazing what they really have. Like, there are certain times I'm like,
in that sense, yes.
There are certain times, yes, they're picking their nose all day. Like, cool, right? But they really do have
at the high school level too. I gotta say. But
I don't think are they eating it in high school?
I hope not.
Okay, well, my kids are.
Might be
But
on the
anyway,
table for all I know.
But overall, like, they have such a great insight. Like, it's like the mind of a child is just amazing because they're just so honest, and they really are just looking at things like in a very direct way.
And they always say, from the mouths of babes.
So
when I was a teenager, though, like when somebody would say from the mouths of babes, I actually thought they meant like babes, like
babes.
like, yeah, from the mouths of like Paris Hilton, yes, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about some ridiculousness, and let's talk about this episode of Monday Night Raw. I can't, like, it really struck me. I was really surprised when they said that we're 2 weeks away from Survivor Series.
I said, do you remember what I said? I go, wait, another pay-per-view? Like,
I know, it's crazy. Like, they're not even trying to like say like there's some high stakes involved this time around with Raw versus SmackDown.
There's no stakes.
like literally, they're not even pretending that there's anything on the line. It's just like, well, we're doing this.
I think, yeah, literally they're
This
making
is it. We're just doing this.
We're just doing this just to do this because it's the name of our pay-per-view. And
I haven't heard. I mean, maybe it's because I just started drowning out all the commentary. But can somebody tell me in the chat if they heard anybody mention brand supremacy? Because I haven't heard that this year.
I don't know.
I'm actually pretty happy to not hear those two words.
I don't
together.
know. Maybe they did. Let us know.
I can't remember, but it just feels like this is like the most non-consequential Survivor Series of recent
Nobody
memory.
cares. Like,
I know, it's so weird. Although they are doing stuff with, like, they're going to be doing something with The Undertaker, but they haven't announced what. It's like they just keep showing videos of him, and it's like, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know.
What was that dance you just did?
Like it's just like their confusion. That's the writing staff. They're like, oh, I don't know what
This
we're
is
doing.
what
We're
they-
just. I mean, that's what I'd be doing all day if I had to work for Vince McMahon. I'll tell you that. It's like I don't know what I'm doing. I can't go on. Hey, you know what? We didn't say hi to everybody yet in the chat, did we?
No, we did not, because you went on a political rant before.
I didn't go on a political rant. I just went on a little bit of educating the public.
I guess that's
here.
like the history teacher.
The history.
I can't speak today.
Taker.
I'm really tired.
I know.
I'm so tired.
Don't you worry.
And that power surge really threw me
I
for a
know
loop.
that just absolutely pissed me off. I was like, of course, that's exactly what this week needed was a power surge.
That's 2020.
That is peak 2020. All right, everybody, let's say hi to everybody in the chat.
Sure.
I know I mentioned CJ Bowman before, but he already checked out. If you're here with us, give us a thumbs up. Give the video a thumbs up. Thank you, everybody, for getting us over 1,000 subscribers now.
Amazing.
Don't let it stop. If you're hearing us for the first time, make sure you press that subscribe button. If I turned you off in the political rant, I am sorry. I will not talk politics again forever unless the country starts to melt down because the coming weeks are probably going to be really stupid. But let's say hi to everybody real quick. We got Uncle Billy in the chat room tonight. We got King of Huecamundo.
Hello.
We got Quentin Walters, our buddy.
Hello.
We have our dearest friend Nafis Sadat in the chat room tonight. We love Nafis. Jorge Oliva, Hola Familia Tedesco.
Hola.
Love and respect how they are using The Miz, a shining and bright light on Raw.
I know.
Or any show he's on. I truly think he can help boost the ratings.
I know.
Well, I mean, there is a connection with like The Miz being removed and the ratings going down. I really do think there's something there.
I know. Can't wait to talk about the Miz.
The Shield. Daniel Schell in the chat room tonight.
Yes.
Mashoon
Hello.
Walls.
Hello.
Mashoon Walls is here.
Hello.
Hayden Barker.
Hello.
Rain, what's that? I asked from Phoenix, and it's 94 degrees today. Wow.
It literally snowed yesterday in some areas.
It snowed in some areas in New Jersey, but because it's 2020, it's going to be 70 degrees at the end of the week. So, hey, at least we're off. We have 2 days off, Thursday and Friday, so we're looking pretty good right now.
Where are we going?
Nowhere. We're just gonna be here, but
we can at least sit on our deck.
We're not going anywhere. That's the point. We can sit with our hideous, ugly curtains. There they are.
I'm gonna rip them off tomorrow.
Yeah, I know, but then we'll have absolutely nothing covering the window.
True.
And then I can't be stupid in the house. Then everybody will be watching me. Not that they can't see through these curtains anyway. It's like,
really?
Oh my God, they're like, who? Like, I don't know. Maybe the people that used to own this house, they don't like to walk around naked or something like that. Like, I don't know, but like, not that I do either. But if I wanted the option, it's like
you don't even. You don't even have the option.
Yeah, no, I don't. We have a child now. I have to be an adult. It's tough. Goosey's in the chat room tonight.
Hello.
Good evening, babes. Is there more pie? Not tonight, Goosey, because WWE doesn't usually announce anything ahead of time for Raw.
But I will say this. I have an idea. We should have like a bonfire for these curtains.
Yes, we will. When we get our new window treatments, that's what they call them, window treatments. When we get those, we're going to take them outside to the fire pit. We're going to tape us burning these curtains, and that will be put up. Hopefully, we'll have new window treatments very soon. Quentin Walters goes, "Don't go there, Goosey." But the pie is going to be open. It says, Jorge Oliva says, "Leave the windows open. Maybe the wind will take the curtains from you." Goosey says the bonfire on these things will last a minute because they're so thin.
Yeah,
I know.
it's true.
I know. It's so true. We can just use it for kindling. Maybe we should save them for next summer when we actually really open up the fire pit again. That'd be kind of nice.
Yeah.
What was that video?
I don't know.
Weird. The hell was that about?
I told you. I'm like, ooh.
Anyway, give us a like. Give us a subscription if you have not subscribed to us yet. Raw opened up with Randy Orton making his way to the ring. He is the best, period. He's better than Edge, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Drew McIntyre. 8 days ago, he proved that. But that doesn't do him any justice. He's a 14-time world champion. He's not in the position that he's in because management protected him or Triple H protected him. He's not the legend killer. He's simply the best. He is simply a legend. I thought that was actually a very good promo.
Oh, absolutely.
He talked about, he dared anybody in the locker room to try to take the title from him. Alexa Bliss comes out. And I got to tell you, we'll talk about this in a few moments, but this
Daniel,
the way
we love
they're
your girl.
using her is phenomenal. And Daniel Schell has to be one of the happiest people on earth.
Your girl.
On the way that they're using Alexa Bliss because she's killing it right now.
She is.
She's absolutely killing it. She comes out to the ring. We actually had a nice little there was a nice little thread going on about the Fiend's gloves, which they never really talk about on commentary, which I pointed out, where it says hurt and heal and stuff like that. She comes out. She's wearing gloves. Now this is very clear. She comes out. She just smiles at Orton. He's like, "Where is he? Where is he?" And she holds her hands up like this. On one hand, it says play. The other glove says pain. And then she puts down the one that says play and just holds up pain. And then she says, "He could be here." The high-pitched screaming is heard. Orton's looking around for the Fiend. Then he turns around and eats a Claymore kick. McIntyre looks at the WWE Championship and says he wants his rematch and walks off. Then, of course, because we have to be reminded that The Miz has Money in the Bank, he ran out to fake a cash-in. Then McIntyre cut that off, and no cash in tonight.
You're so not nice though in your tweet.
It has nothing to do with the Miz. It's just they do that all the time. They literally do that all the time.
I know, but I secretly was like, yes, do it, please.
Well, it's gonna happen at some point.
I know at some point, but I want it to happen now.
But it most certainly was not going to be today.
I know, but I was really excited.
I know you were, but I didn't believe I don't know if anybody else believed for like 1 second that Miz was going to be cashing in right then and there.
Yes.
Off of one Claymore kick. I was like, come on now.
But this is a really good opening segment. It
was
really
good.
was.
I just think it's a great use of Alexa Bliss. She is awesome as like the Fiend's beard, you know, like just coming out and just being there, you know, to represent him and, you know, kind of foreshadow him. So it's like, you know, now when you see the Fiend, it's going to be extra special because she's going to be the one doing all the stuff for him.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Billy thinks that Alexa Bliss should be wearing a mask when she gets into the Fiendess mode. I'm kind of torn on that because I like the stuff that they're doing with the contacts with her and the hair. I do think she should eventually get a mask, but I'm not sure it should cover her whole face because she actually does a lot of great emoting with her eyes and with her, you know, her expressions. Whereas, like, you know, Bray Wyatt is so super talented when he puts the mask on. He can use body language. I don't know how skilled she would be at using body language to get that across, but I think whatever she's doing is it's just going great right now.
Okay, not to sound like a complete like creep. I have to disagree with Uncle Billy only because I don't think she should ever have a mask, and I don't agree that it should ever lead up into anything. I don't even think she should have a partial mask, and the reason why I'm going to say this is because she's got this like scary, like seductive thing going on, which is also very intriguing, and you're just drawn to looking at her. And again, I'm saying this as like a female, so I know it sounds like a big creep right now, but you're very much drawn and attracted to Alexa Bliss. She doesn't need a mask to add any type of like mystique or add any type of to like fill in with the Fiend. I think that her reactions and her facial expressions are completely important. And she may not, even with the mask, she may not be able to emote those, you know, facial expressions as well. But I just don't like her. Like I said, that like scary, seductive nature of hers. She doesn't need a mask. And I don't think she should have one.
Daniel Shell says she also doesn't need any clothes.
Well, I'm not going to go that far because I don't swing that way.
Man,
if you do, great.
The thirst is strong with that young man there.
What?
The thirst is strong with that young man there.
I don't think, no, I think she should be clothed for her own protection too. But
yes.
No, I think that, like I said, like that very mystique and like that smile and the, you know, and the girlish, like, like, you know,
yeah.
I think that needs to be, I don't think a mask would be beneficial.
Right.
I think she really knows how to go into like, oh, it's Alexa Bliss, and then it's like, no, it's Alexa Bliss.
Well, I think the way that they're doing this right now with Alexa is almost kind of like, you know, you're taking something wholesome, like the girl next door
like
look, you know, doing all that
the
stuff,
pigtails,
the pigtails,
yeah.
and like, you know, the kind of like, you know, pretty cheerleader. It's almost like what they did in The Omen with that little kid, Damien.
Yeah. Yep.
Where it's like, you know, you take this cute little kid, and the kid, he was really super cute in that movie. I'm talking about the one with Gregory Peck, not the remake with Liev Schreiber, which I didn't think was that good. But they took something wholesome like a child and turned him into Satan. You know, it's like sometimes that's just as creepy as, like, you know, makeup and putting on masks. So, like, I kind of agree there. I think that, you know, Bray Wyatt should have his own character, you know, separate. But
yeah.
like, you know, if she just puts the contacts on and gets the dreadlocks in her hair and stuff like that, I think that's enough because she can carry, you know.
She's very good at being. She's very versatile. She could be a mean girl. She could be like the peppy girl, and now she's got this, and now she has this weird element to her. Yeah. You know, like this very. Yeah, like
she's really. You think about it, she's pulled off a lot of characters far since she debuted in 2016, I believe it was.
So I don't think she needs a mask, and I wouldn't want to see her with one.
I think eventually she might get a half a mask or something like that.
I don't even think she should have half a mask. I think she's great the way she is.
I think if they were going to do it, they would have done it by now. Because they revealed the Fiend, you know, after a couple of segments. You know, like it took about a month to reveal like the full look of the Fiend, which I was like, that was pretty interesting. Now they had her tonight. They did they did a Firefly Funhouse, and that was actually really a pretty good Firefly Funhouse. There, they had Abby the Witch. Saying that Randy Orton go F himself, and, you know, they were talking about putting this, you know, Alexa goes, okay, you owe 10 cents to the swear jar, and she goes, 10 cents? Go F yourself. And then Bray Wyatt says, that's 25 cents now. But he put the healing hand over her face tonight.
Yeah.
She came out with the contacts again. And then they had this gimmick where she had a weird, tongue in her mouth or something.
Yeah,
it
it
just started
like it got falling out of her mouth.
Very serpentine.
Yeah.
Very serpentine. Serpentine. I'm a snake. I'm a snake. Slither. That was somebody else's gimmick that doesn't work here anymore. The first votes are being cast in Dixville Notch, New Hampshire. They always vote at midnight. I think there's 40 people in the town, and I think they've predicted the winner of the election like a bunch of election cycles in a row.
I don't care.
Daniel Shell just brought it up. I just thought I should just mark the time since it is election day now. It's 12:02 a.m.
All right, bye. I'll be hibernating.
I know. Yikes! It's as a quick aside, the church is a polling place. For the election day, obviously.
Yes.
The police came in there and gave the entire staff a rundown in case the election site becomes an active shooter location. That's where we're at right now in this election. That's where we're at.
Lovely.
Isn't that lovely? Anyway, I thought this was a really good opening segment.
I did too.
I'm actually kind of getting myself amped up for Orton versus The Fiend versus Drew McIntyre. I think that could actually wind up being pretty neat.
Yeah.
Should be pretty cool. There.
Yeah.
And the Alexa Bliss stuff. I mean, they are just killing it with.
She's fantastic.
She has made The Fiend so much more infinitely interesting because I was really just very down on The Fiend. The stuff with, that never-ending hideous feud with Braun Strowman on SmackDown. Just
she brought it to life again.
Losing to Goldberg, the Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania, which I thought was fun, but overall kind of a miss. Considering that you have John Cena there, and it's like they really didn't do much with it. I just, like his whole entire 2020 has been kind of like a wash, and then they brought Alexa Bliss into the act, and they really turned it around. They really did.
They did it at the right time.
Yeah,
they really did.
They really did. It came right at the right time.
That was the right switch, by the way, from SmackDown into Raw, because this definitely is something that people are going to be invested in and watch. So I agree with 100% how they're orchestrating this. Keep it going.
Yeah, definitely keep it going. All right.
Something that I hopefully will not continue after tonight.
Yeah, Elias versus Jeff Hardy. That was gonna be my transition right there. That was good. This feud has sucked to high hell. Now we have a guitar and a pole match with Elias versus Jeff Hardy. It felt like a blow off. It really did. This felt like a complete blow-off. I agree. Jeff Hardy beat him cleanly with the guitar. There was no follow-up. There was no extra guitar being smashed. That was it. This match sucked. All of their matches sucked. The entire premise of this feud sucked because it was like, okay, this is an angle that happened in May. Yep. It was well established that Jeff Hardy did not hit Elias. I guess Elias just doesn't listen to anything on television, or people even saying that. Well, it was proved that Jeff Hardy didn't hit you with the car. It was actually Sheamus, who is now best friends with Drew McIntyre. Yeah, they're all buddy. I don't know. This sucked. This really sucked. The whole entire rivalry was just a giant waste, and I'm glad it's over. I really am. Done. You're done. You're just done.
No, it does not need to. I don't need any more of my energy and my time talking about it. I'm just glad that it appears to be the end for these two with their rivalry, and I'm good with that.
Yeah. I mean, it was a physical match. They definitely did some.
They did some
stuff, but
still stunk though.
It just never clicked. It just
they have no in-ring chemistry.
Elias, if he's not doing the guitar stuff, I mean, like this is a guy where it's like he really, really needs a crowd, and not like this BS piped in crowd noise. Yeah, he needs a crowd there because. Like
that's how he's always advanced himself. That's always how he's not a good wrestler. Separated himself from, when he when he did this shit with Kevin Owens and they had the crowd going for
for
like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But then also too, even like I said, he devoted an entire album, like I said, for the cities that he's been to and he's hated. Like it's he just gets under your skin with his, those like that musical type of thing. But that's all there is to him. That's really all there is to him. Are you looking at our hideous curtains right now? Like,
no. I was wondering what those red lights were. But it's that guy with the giant turkey inflated on his lawn.
Yeah, we have a guy who's like incredible. Like took down all his Halloween decorations and put up a giant turkey literally last night. Awesome. But yeah, Elias is really not much more to him than that.
Right.
Than that character.
He's actually a very talented musician.
He's a very talented musician.
But he stinks as a wrestler. And
why do you think that is though? And I don't mean that like in a weird question. I know it sounds like a bizarre question, but why do you think that is? Do you think for some wrestlers when they're not very good, is it just they didn't get enough time like to really practice, or is it just some guys are just not?
Some guys are just not going to be very good. Hulk Hogan is one of the worst professional wrestlers I've ever seen.
Well, yeah,
in my
that's
entire
true.
Fucking life. I just saw recently, and I had watched it because I watched it like a year ago, the actual Nitro that this happened at. But there was a thing with Arn Anderson and was it Arn and Brian Pillman or Arn and Ric Flair?
Okay.
Anyway, Hogan takes them down, tries to put the figure 4 on them.
Okay.
And just doesn't know how to do the figure 4, and you could see you could see Ric Flair was even. I think it was Ric Flair. He's even trying to set his legs up so Hogan could easily step into it and just do it, and Hogan still botched it.
But yeah,
he's a horrible professional wrestler. But he was a great personality, and at that time you could be a horrible wrestler and have a great personality and succeed.
Now you can't though.
Now you can't. Like so, Elias is like actually just kind of in the wrong time. He's a tremendous personality. I think he's extremely charismatic and really
he gets under your skin when he does his whole heel
he's really good.
Musical work.
But he's like that cartoon that would have been great in the 90s. And if he couldn't work that well, it's okay because he was a big guy. But here it's like he gets exposed constantly because he can't
match up with other people.
He can't have a 2-segment match. He can barely have a 1-segment match.
Well, I think it's also foolish.
That's what's going to hold him back.
Yeah, and I think it's also foolish to have him like against somebody like Jeff Hardy, who obviously, is very good in the ring. You know what I mean? I still think he could have a good match, but somebody like Jeff Hardy doesn't need to be having matches with Elias because really at this point, it's not doing anything for either one of them.
No,
really.
It's time to move on. And I have to say, actually, though, I saw that Jeff Hardy Chronicle series, or that Chronicle thing that they did on him, and he talked about his, he's been sober for over a year now. I think we have to applaud that because he got a lot of crap when he was getting pulled over for the DWIs and stuff like that.
I think,
but he it's actually a really great story. I love Jeff Hardy. I think it's an unbelievable story, and I think they should stop using it in storylines. I
do too. I think when, like I said, I don't condone any of that type of behavior where you're driving under the influence, but I always like a good comeback story. Yes. I'm rooting for those individuals to seek help and find their way and rooting for them for success. I think to kind of hone in on somebody's past mistakes is I think everybody should get given a second chance, and I think that when somebody is making the effort to make a change, I think it should be celebrated and really, people should really.
And you should give them a chance.
Yeah,
I think it's it's like always the people that criticize, and I see so many people online like criticize like Jeff Hardy and stuff like that. It's like, well,
look at your life. Like, what are you doing?
Without sin, cast the first stone. It's hard to it's hard to be living on top of the mountain when you're living in a glass house there. It's like, come on now, like give it a rest. It's time to absolutely move on.
So I agree with you. Again, this is like to transition, but I agree with you. I think the first hour has been just like with exception with the opening segment.
This first hour sucked. I'm just going to blow through the rest of the first hour here. Women's Tag Team Championship match, which they announced on WWE.com was a non-title match, and all of a sudden it's a title match. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler easily beat Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. I ask again, what the hell was the point of that fatal 4-way last week?
I don't know.
Where Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler just beat the top 4.
I don't know.
The top 3 teams.
I don't know. And I real quick
In a
before
non-title
I know you're
match.
blowing through, which I agree with. You should, because especially
match
the first,
sucked.
yeah.
Horrible.
The only thing I will say is this, which really, really bothers me. Okay, so somebody like Shayna Baszler should not even be in a ring with someone like Dana Brooke. They shouldn't even have.
Dana Brooke shouldn't be in the ring with anybody.
No, but what I mean is that Dana Brooke, right, should not even get like 2 moves in on her. It shouldn't even be a thing where like, oh, we're going to have it where the ref is counting to 2. Like, that should not even be happening. It's like, what a downfall for Shayna Baszler from what they really were intending for her to do and to pose to now. Is there another light?
No. I'm taking a drink of water here.
No, I thought, because you're looking at, is that turkey really, is it still lit?
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm
Oh.
just looking outside. That's all.
I thought the turkey was sweet.
It is lit. It is
It is?
lit. Yes.
Why
See
can't
it?
I see? Oh, okay. Yeah, I do see it.
The giant
hello.
turkey.
But
yeah, Shayna. Well, yeah. I mean, she is a champion, so you can't argue that. But she could be doing a lot better than what they have for her. It's like, but again, like the women's tag team division is
stupid.
Is kind of going back to where it used to be again. It's like they have some great talents, but they're the same great talents that they've had since 2015. And save for Alexa Bliss and Asuka, I can't really think of anybody of consequence that they've brought up since that has made an impact. Nia Jax isn't it. Shayna Baszler isn't it. Anybody that's good came up in Alexa Bliss and Asuka. That's it. I can't think of anybody else. Can anybody in the chat room think of anybody else? I got nothing.
All right, go through it.
But it's like, I mean, they're still doing better than AEW's women's tag team, women's division. So, I mean, I guess there's that. 24/7 champion R-Truth versus Bobby Lashley, who's the United States champion. Lashley beats R-Truth by submission. Drew Gulak comes out to beat R-Truth, but Lashley slams him, puts him to sleep with the Hurt Lock. Then he puts the unconscious Gulak on top of R-Truth. So Gulak, asleep, wins the 24/7 championship. And Bobby Lashley, and the 24/7 title means so little that the Hurt Business that's all about getting titles and making money, Bobby Lashley just completely was like, I don't need the 24/7 championship. I wish that somebody would, with some status would get the title. Just to, I mean, like, I loved when Shelton Benjamin had the 24/7 title because it's like, okay, it's in the Hurt Business. That makes sense. They want titles. Like, that's an easy one to get. It's like, so it's like Shelton Benjamin can, like, I don't understand why they, like, whatever.
But it's funny, they're diminishing one of their own titles.
The 24/7 championship has nothing. There's nothing about it to diminish anymore. It's properly diminished.
It really, but it's funny. It really is truly a prop at this point. It is truly a prop.
It
is
has
truly
been from
something.
the day one.
It's truly something. No, I know.
The first champion was crowned by whoever got to the ring fastest to retrieve the title. That's what happened.
I love it, but this title's solely for R-Truth. Actually should just be called the R-Truth title.
How about, okay, it's like, I always criticize this company when they start making references that are ridiculous.
Okay.
I remember like John Cena before the 2014 Survivor Series or 2015 Survivor Series. I forget what it was, but he did like a long promo. Okay. And he quoted like directly Chris Farley from Tommy Boy. And I was like, John, Tommy Boy is 20 years ago. Why are you doing Tommy Boy? Is there no current references that you could even think of? R-Truth comes out and he thinks that he's facing Bobby Boucher instead of Bobby Lashley. Bobby Boucher from the friggin' movie The Water Boy with Adam Sandler, which came out like 1999. And then he's dismayed to find out he's facing Bobby Lashley. Like, come on.
It's funny.
I mean, it was funny. I liked it because
of course
I know that,
we liked it because we know it.
It's like you want to skew to a younger audience. Like, nobody knows who the hell Bobby Boucher is.
It's very telling to their age, though.
You can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it. It was a good movie.
It was a great
Kathy
movie.
Bates. Wait, what was her big thing there? Foosball is the devil. It's the devil.
Great Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, I know. Well, he has never been the same since that. What the hell's the name of that movie? Jack and Jill?
Jack and Jill.
Oh, my God, that was miserable. AJ Styles out in the ring. He wants to be team captain of Raw, or he declares himself to be team captain of Raw. SmackDown lacks someone with intangibles to be a leader. He has intangibles. His intangibles have intangibles. So he brings out Keith Lee and Sheamus. I forgot who qualified for this. That's how little I care about the Survivor Series. And he wants them to, just unite around him and be the team captain.
Yeah.
They don't want to acknowledge him as the team captain. Braun Strowman comes out and says, all Team Raw needs is these hands. And they say, well, you hold on a second. You have to, qualify. Strowman says, I don't have to qualify for anything. 2 weeks ago, Keith Lee, I beat you clean in the ring. Meanwhile, he won with a low blow. So not only is he qualified, his qualification should have him be the team captain. So that upsets AJ Styles. Adam Pearce comes out, who's the WWE official now making matches for whatever reason. And he says no one is willing to face Strowman to be in a qualifying match. So AJ Styles suggests that they have a triple threat match, and if Strowman wins, then he's on the team. So that's what they do. And Keith Lee did not like that he said that he beat him clean. So that was another thing. Now this triple threat match with Braun Strowman, Sheamus, and Keith Lee, this really picked up the show. This
very much did.
This was freaking awesome. I love a hard-hitting match, and all three of these guys hit hard. All I heard was just clubbing backs. Sheamus's back was all cut up and bloodied and, bruised up, and Keith Lee was just lifting guys. They finally treated Keith Lee like he was something special
like an
tonight.
Equal and a special. Yeah, it was special.
Well, he finally did like a somersault senton onto them. Now he friggin' clipped his head and neck on the apron and was definitely a little loopy for a few moments there. That was a scary spot, but they were definitely letting him do a little. He was looking more like Keith Lee rather than just some big fat guy in a fat suit.
I think that with the three of them, and especially in a triple threat match, this is exactly the direction you need to go with somebody like Braun Strowman and somebody like Keith Lee, because you can't have necessarily, and it's not always best just to have them in one-on-one matches, but what's great about them is having the triple threat. It's like one can take a break, one can kind of like decompress, but they also can do the same thing where they are all going at it at the same time. So this is a really good maneuver and a really good I'm not always thrilled with a triple threat match, but when triple threat matches go like this, I'm all for.
Yeah. This was freaking awesome. It was. I have nothing bad to say about it. All I did was I just sat back and literally just enjoyed watching that match, and that for me is a win.
Yes.
If I can just find even just one segment on Raw, and if it's a match, that's even better. I'm all for that. I just want to show this real quick.
Sure.
Hopefully my thing is all queued up here. We shall see. I don't think it is. I have to switch it up. 1 sec. Give me a sec. Okay, so I got my recap up. I have to show you this, though. The poll is 50-50 thumbs up and thumbs down on Twitter right now.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing.
That is amazing.
I just happened to
Did you screenshot it?
No, I'm not going to screenshot it. It's on the video, though. But it's I was like, wow, that's a rare occurrence right now.
That's awesome.
We'll see where it's at the end of the show. But we're getting there. We're getting there. So the triple threat match, that was just great stuff. That was really, really good. So Braun Strowman wins. They all shake hands. Sheamus actually hugs Keith. He hugs Braun Strowman, and then backs up and hits Strowman with a bro kick, knocks him out of the ring. Lee pounces Sheamus out of the ring, and finally Styles kicks Lee in the head. So Team Raw is in disarray. So that makes me think that Team Raw is actually going to win this year.
Oh, yeah. It's those little things that happen where you're like, oh, yeah, that's it. Locked
Especially if we're just doing classic WWE booking. It's like, the team that looks the worst
wins. Yeah.
It's like the Miz right now. He has the Money in the Bank contract. They're gonna do the exact same crap they did with him when he first won it, where he just gets beat constantly.
Yeah.
And then he wins the title, and you're supposed to take him seriously. I know how beating somebody constantly leading up to winning a title makes any sense is beyond me. But that's WWE booking there. That's WWE booking.
Well, I'm just proud of my man for getting an opportunity.
You're a man.
Mind you, I'm married. He's married. We have a child. He has 2 daughters.
We have a daughter.
I know.
We do. Anyway, this is great. Just really a lot of fun. Angel Garza's backstage. They did a little segment with him where he was giving a rose to any female in the WWE universe that loves him. So there's that.
They're doing the whole Bachelor thing, like Bachelor.
They really are. It was so corny, but there was something about it that I really liked as well. So there you go. We talked about the Firefly Funhouse thing already, which was just excellent. Nia Jax says in a promo that she's going to beat Lana tonight. She's going to give her an opportunity, and if Lana can't win, she's off the Survivor Series team, and she's going to end her career tonight. So Nia Jax, in a completely one-sided match, there was absolutely no comeback from Lana. She no-sold almost every single piece of offense that Lana threw at her, beat her with a Samoan drop. Lana's off the Survivor Series team, and then was put through the table for a 7th time. I don't know exactly how that... I don't know exactly how that
question
ends
for
her
you.
career, since she's gone through it 7 times now.
Question for you.
She's being punished, yes.
No.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
not one of those people. But do you think they had every intention of doing this like streak with her going through the table, or just kind of something happy little accident?
I don't know, but I'm happy.
I like it.
I find myself looking forward to it every week.
Because remember when when Lana was out there, when they were having their tag match, like when Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose were, going against them, I was like, Lana didn't go through a table? I'm like, why isn't she going through a table tonight?
But she does. She usually does, and it's always a lot of fun. So, I got nothing on this match.
I love
so
on your
stupid.
Twitter. I was just about to say, literally on your Twitter, you go, yeah, I got nothing on this.
Yeah, it sucked. It was what it was, but it was a tiny little hole in actually a pretty good second half of the show. The Hurt Business versus Raw Tag Team Champs, A New Day. Now before this, the Hurt Business had a VIP lounge where they said, okay, well, we beat Retribution, we want our payment, and we want it in the form of the Raw Tag Team titles. So that brings up the New Day. They go back and forth. There was actually a really great line where MVP was talking about, Kofi, you guys are decorated tag champions, and Kofi, you won the WWE title. I was very proud of you, but then you lost it to Brock Lesnar in 8 seconds, and I think Bobby Lashley could do it even quicker. And Kofi's like, oh man, I knew they were the Hurt Business, but I thought it was only physically, and I didn't know they were going to hurt my feelings too. Which it was pretty funny.
Good.
This is actually a really good segment. And then he goes, but you know what? We were talking to Lana, and I heard that Lashley does. You're right. He could do it quicker than 8 seconds. Which I thought was such a great. That was so funny.
I like, we
need the New Day on Raw.
Yes, definitely.
They're actually funny.
I really liked this segment overall, between the match and the actual interactions beforehand. I think that they have a very good chemistry between the Hurt Business and the New Day.
Right.
I liked how they were like they said, the New Day was just kind of roasting them, and that was really, really good. And I like those little reminders of that we're not always PG, because it definitely was not a PG thing to say for sure.
No.
But it is great when they do add in stuff like that once in a while, because it just kind of reminds you, like, all right, you are trying to, relate to an older demographic. It's not always about, your younger crowd and everything like that. So
yeah,
it's funny.
It was a good little line for the adults.
Yeah.
It's like
funny.
even like when if you catch like the Rugrats or whatever, you remember like the Rugrats.
Yes.
And it's like, you watch it when you're a little older, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a line solely for the parents right there.
Yeah.
Like it's not all about the baby.
It goes over their head,
Yep.
but
it's innocent enough that it goes over their head.
But enough as an adult, like
enough as an adult, like, okay, that was.
But
cute.
they had a good match too.
Okay, like in Blue's Clues, when they're talking to a little felt person on the screen, the felt person's name is Felicia, And then when she goes away, Josh goes, okay, bye, Felicia. And it's like, I like that. Okay,
Yeah,
Josh.
I got
I'm
you,
down with
Josh.
that.
Yeah.
Now, the Hurt Business, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin have a non-title match against the New Day.
That was a good match.
This was awesome.
It really did.
You got two of the best workers in the
That's
Hurt
why
Business
I liked it.
going against Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. It was just fantastic. It really, really was.
Really good matchup.
Hurt Business beats them. I'm looking forward to a nice little rivalry with the Hurt Business and the New Day. It's nice to see the Hurt Business doing something that they can actually sink their teeth into. Because the infinite loop of facing Apollo Crews, Ricochet, and Mustafa Ali, then the infinite loop of facing the shitty, absolute garbage Retribution did nothing for them. This could actually do something for them.
Hurt Business should be going against people like the New Day that are established and they have good chemistry already, and they have really good chemistry together, again, with segments, talking, and with matches. So I'm cool with it.
Absolutely. But that's why I'm saying, like, Lashley should have just taken the 24/7 title and just like given it to somebody in the Hurt Business or something like that.
It's like, here, take it.
They should just be collecting championships.
Yeah,
That's what they should be doing, in my opinion. Anyway. Good stuff. Really good stuff. And now we get to the stuff that was not so great. Ricochet versus Tucker out of nowhere. So Tucker, who just made the big heel turn on Otis literally 8 days ago, is wearing these tights that, my God.
Let me mention the tights.
and it says like it says Knight on the back. So I guess he had them when he was Tucker Knight before he did the heavy machinery thing. And it's like, okay, Tucker, you've gotten fatter and you're larger. Go find those tights that you used to wear like 5 years ago and put them on. And they were not fitting him. I was like, there was a couple times where I was like, oh my God, we're gonna see the crack of Tucker's ass right now. That's what we're gonna be seeing. But this match meant absolutely nothing. It was an absolute zero match.
You know how I know it meant nothing? You didn't put a picture up for Ricochet.
It was over and done so fast.
You were like, I'm not even going to bother.
Because Ricochet got destroyed, it was like, I'm not even going to build a picture for this because it's like, he doesn't even deserve it. It's so dumb. So Tucker, I guess that's the end of him. He turned on Otis. That's it. It's over.
Done.
There's not going to be a match between Otis and Tucker at Survivor Series.
He
was beaten in 3.5 seconds by Ricochet. There's nothing there. Recoil, Mustafa Ali comes out. Retribution then comes out afterwards, destroys Ricochet and Tucker. Ali tells Ricochet that no sin is forgiven until it is punished. So Retribution has now they're at the level where they are facing Ricochet. That's where they're at now.
Ricochet's my fave.
So for all those people that said, Mike, let it play out. This could be one of the greatest storylines that WWE's put together in quite some time. Really?
Really?
Have we let it play out enough yet? I'm not sure. Maybe we need a little more playing to go. I think it's done. I think it's done.
You say really again?
Really? Oh yeah.
Really? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Anyway, Drew McIntyre's walking backstage, bumps into Sheamus, and they're buddy. And so Sheamus tells him to go knock Miz back to Hollywood. I was like, okay, well, Sheamus is going to come out and bro kick the shit out of McIntyre after the match, but he did not. So Drew McIntyre faces The Miz and John Morrison in a 2-on-1 handicap match, and he wins. This was actually a good match. I'm not a big fan of handicap matches. In fact, I can't stand them. I still have like PTSD about handicap matches from the 2013, 2014, 2015 Authority era, which just
no, it's constant handicap
remember
matches.
they would have like 3 handicap matches per night on Raw. And it was like, my God, like what are we doing? Are we trying to run people off?
And even like with when Nikki Bella and Brie Bella had. Well, when Brie Bella had her feud with Stephanie McMahon, and then like her way of like going back at Brie was giving Nikki all of the handicap matches. It was a very Authority would have just be like, oh no, you're having a handicap match. It's like a
I remember Big Show was in a bunch of handicap matches. Like, oh my God, I can't do the handicap matches anymore. But this was actually well done. You know, McIntyre dominated the first half of the match, and then went to commercial. They did a nice little back and forth. You know, they did McIntyre kicking out at 1. They did, you know, the Future Shock DDT. McIntyre hit a somersault senton, a Claymore kick on Miz for the win. I thought it was pretty good, but again, I don't know if this would be enough to keep people sticking around for the third hour, because this was what they went with as the main event. But whatever. After the match, Randy Orton drops McIntyre with an RKO out of nowhere. The Fiend's laughter is heard, and the show goes off the air. It's like, can we just skip Survivor Series and get right to the build of McIntyre versus the Fiend versus Orton? That's what I want to see. There's nothing on Survivor Series that I want to see. I am not interested whatsoever in Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. I've seen it before. It's been a while since I've seen it, but you know, maybe with the... Actually, I don't know, because I was going to say maybe with the roles reversed, but it's going to be heel versus heel. I don't know. I'm not
You're not feeling it. You're not feeling it. I'm not. No, I'm not feeling it.
Survivor Series feels like a giant waste of time.
When I first started watching wrestling, I was into it. I was very into Survivor Series. I was into all the pay-per-views, you know. But the more and more I watched, and I think the reason why, because the draft was still very much a thing, where it was very, you know, I remember that time I even helped you when they were like, oh, so-and-so's going to this roster, someone's going to this roster, right? Yeah. But it just doesn't matter anymore. Everything is so integrated, and people coming back and forth between each, you know, they don't make a big deal of it throughout the year. And we spoke about this at length. So why are we making a big deal about it now? Like, now we're supposed to care that I'm versing people from SmackDown, and SmackDown people are versing people from Raw. Right. I really don't care. We don't make a big deal out of it. We literally just saw
them all on facing each other weeks ago.
Yeah, we don't make a big deal out of it. So it's like, why are we going to do this? Why are we going to continue?
I think they had one good idea to keep Survivor Series alive in 2004 or 2005 when they started doing the brand stuff. And now it's like, that was 15 years ago. It was 15 years ago they had this idea, and they keep doing it.
People come back and forth, and it's not divided like that.
Right.
So there's no reason.
There's no brand established that you would even care to see. Like you know, I mean, we talked about this last week, so we're not going to do it again. But you know, just to reiterate what we were talking about last week, it's like, you know, in the original brand split, it was like 2 years before you saw even a cross-brand match, and it was really special when they did it. It was
special.
You know, they do too much with shaking things up and da-da-da. It's like they keep shaking things up because nobody wants to watch these fucking shows. And they think that switching up the rosters is going to keep people to care, but it doesn't. All they do is just change the lighting on crappy, bad storylines and they wear T-shirts. Wrestlers.
Like, I really feel like I'm watching like Field Day.
The T-shirts got to go. I mean that's the one thing. You know, when we're going to Chop. Bruce Pritchard and Conrad, they were on their stupid show. They were doing like a live watch along of Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey from 2018, which I thought was a phenomenal Survivor Series match. But even Bruce was like, "Yeah, them wearing the T-shirts, it looks fucking stupid. It looks goofy.
I feel like I'm watching a Field Day."
Yes, it is Field Day. It's a Field Day. It's exactly what it looks like.
It's like your color versus color, and it's literally there's. And essentially, it's like Field Day because, like a team wins from another class. Really, at the end of the day, you get like, oh, yeah, you don't even get a trophy. It's like, oh, good job. Literally, it's like a good job.
Right.
What benefits do you get from winning the Survivor Series match?
Yeah, none.
None.
There's nothing.
Bragging
There's nothing
rights,
to
but
it.
who are you bragging to?
So it's like Braun Strowman comes out. He's like, "Yeah, I've eliminated the most people in a Survivor Series match."
Cares?
Like, who remembers that? I don't.
Nobody care. I don't remember that.
That's a statistic that nobody gives a shit.
I remember statistic wise, you remember like Royal Rumble, like who has the most eliminations in a Royal Rumble match, who's out in a few seconds and that type of match. You don't remember Survivor Series. Oh, I had the most people, especially again when you only care about it for one time a year. Please.
And then it's over and done with and never
spoken about again. Yeah. Then we literally forget about it.
Well, Andrew brings up a good point here. Like Survivor Series, it used to be good when it was team versus team, like Hulkamaniacs versus Natural Disasters, etc.
There you go.
But that was when they had like stables and families and heel groups.
Yeah,
like,
right,
we need
right,
more
right.
managers to make the Survivor Series kind of mean something, where it's like, okay,
Yeah,
you
we
get
don't
like the
have
best
nearly
of like
as
those
much.
stables.
No.
But like we have the Hurt Business, for example, and Bobby Lashley, just because it's Survivor Series and brand versus brand, he's tied up in a stupid fucking match against Sami Zayn,
Right.
Because he's the United States champion.
Exactly.
So you can't even do that.
No, you can't. You can't.
They just keep booking themselves into a corner. And
They should just.
they're not even booking the stuff that they have right.
They should just do away with Survivor Series and do another type of pay-per-view. I think.
Well, I think all gimmick shows should just go away. Like Hell in a Cell. Like really, what did that do? What did it mean?
So
why did those matches need to be in the Hell in a Cell?
So why? So what would you do then? Like instead of a gimmick, like what type of pay-per-view would you have then?
I would just have regular pay-per-views where like there's no theme to it. Like because don't forget in December now we're going to be getting TLC, and it's like why? What is it like why? Just because December now it's TLC time. Like why can't you ever just like build a match and a rivalry to the point where it would need a TLC? Why do we just have to put things in TLC
So
matches
you're looking for
just
more.
to be there?
So just correct me if I'm wrong. You're looking for more.
I'm looking for more creativity because they use these gimmicks because they can't write a competent story anymore. They can't write a competent story, so it's like, okay, well, we're going to give you all the things that were really cool in the past that were built, off the backs of great stories, and just give you these matches just because, and we know that you're stupid and you'll watch because it's weapons. That's not how you book. That's not how you book for long-term sustainability. So
you're looking
That's
for
all hot-shotting. I'm looking for no hot-shotting. I'm looking for the writing staff to be challenged to write a good storyline that, and if it just so happens that storyline is so hot that it builds to a Hell in a Cell match, that it builds to a TLC match, that it builds to a cage match, whatever it is, whatever stupid gimmick they have. The only gimmick that I would keep around is Money in the Bank. Because that
the Rumble.
Oh no, of course the Royal Rumble. That's a different thing because the Royal Rumble plays for WrestleMania. That makes sense. But like TLC, why TLC?
Okay.
Why Hell in a Cell?
Okay.
Why like Elimination Chamber?
Okay.
It doesn't make
get
sense.
it. I get what you're saying.
It doesn't make sense.
So yeah, so you would rather if a match warranted weapons like tables, ladders, and chairs, right? That's fine. But you're not looking for a whole central theme of a show.
Exactly.
You're looking just for
because that's lazy.
Regular matchups, storylines.
As soon as they started doing stuff like that, the storylines just took a nosedive because it's like, okay, well now we don't even have to challenge ourselves to make anything that makes sense. Now people like gimmicks. So let's just give them gimmicks. But then it waters down the gimmicks, and now when you watch Hell in a Cell, I wasn't even remotely excited to watch Hell in a Cell.
Well, that's also because the cell was red, which is
ridiculous. Well, that also kills it too.
but no.
I wasn't remotely excited to watch Hell in a Cell to begin with, and it's like it's such a far cry because like when I was watching that Randy Orton Undertaker thing that they had last week after Hell in a Cell went off the air, I was like, man, I remember being so amped up for that match. Because they didn't do Hell in a Cell matches often, and that rivalry had gone for the entire year, and it was like, oh my god, it's gonna end in Hell in a Cell. That's gonna be friggin' awesome.
Yeah, that's
gonna be awesome. And I remember like just being like, just so amped, like the night before, you're like, oh my god, I can't wait. You're looking at the clock on Sunday. It's like, oh my god, it's 2:00 in the afternoon. I can't wait for the show to start at 8:00, so I can see this Hell in a Cell match. I can't wait.
Different time,
but it made sense to have Hell in a Cell there. Like, really? Like, Sasha and Bayley, their first match in Hell in a Cell? Like, come on now.
No, I get it.
Where can it possibly build to now?
That makes a lot of sense. That's where you actually... Because I was actually going to disagree with you for some of what you said. But you actually just, with your last statement right there, with Sasha and Bayley, it's like, where do feuds have anything to build up to?
Right.
It's like automatically, because if you're in a feud with somebody, right, and based upon that time of like year that you're in a feud, it's like, oh, you automatically get a Hell in a Cell match.
Right.
Or you automatically get a match with tables, ladders, and chairs.
But it doesn't end the rivalry.
Yeah.
It's just another match in the series.
But right, and it just
and
can
because
continue.
now Sasha and Bayley are facing on SmackDown this week, and it's like, really? Like after Hell in a Cell, like that should be the one and only time
they're done. Yeah, they're done.
Like,
yeah.
Hell in a Cell's the ender.
I get it.
But then like you make those gimmicks no longer special, and then it's like, well, what are you going to do now to get people interested in? You killed all of your best gimmicks. You killed all your best gimmicks. You know, the Hell in a Cell, there was nothing wrong with the Hell in a Cell until they started doing all this bullshit where it's like, okay, we have to have 3 Hell in a Cell matches on the card.
Yeah.
It's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
I would almost prefer if it was like called Hell in a Cell, but there would only be one Hell in a Cell match.
It's the worst thing they ever did. And you know, this is like really a leftover from the financial crisis of 2008 because they started doing all these stupid gimmick pay-per-views to save face and keep the company solvent, which I can understand. I can understand that. But like you don't like they trap themselves because they did get some good returns off those things, and now it's like, okay, well, now we just have to do it because that's what works, that's what people want. No, people still want storylines, and if anything has been proven in the last 10 years since they started doing these gimmick pay-per-views and storylines have been crap, it's the fact that, you know, look, we need to concentrate more on the steak rather than the sizzle. You know, it's like,
makes sense.
It doesn't matter it doesn't matter how much sizzling you hear, because that always sounds good. It's like when you hear a steak sizzling, like when we're at Applebee's or whatever, when we used to be able to dine, in the restaurant, you would hear those fajitas going by, and then you'd smell it, and you're like, that smells good. And then you start eating those fajitas, and then you realize this is a $2 cut of steak, so the sizzle doesn't match what you're actually gonna eat, right?
Makes sense.
That's what I'm looking. That's what I think.
I like the
want.
analogy. I like that.
Thank you. That's
good.
That's because I'm super hungry right now. So on that note, let's wrap up this Raw here. It's a little bit of a challenging Raw for me to rate because I did like so much of like that second half of that first hour.
Wrestleview should bring back the thumbs in the middle.
It's never coming back. So
why?
It's just not. We're not doing it.
Come on.
That's the end of it.
This is a very thumbs in the middle show. Even the polls suggested that it was very thumbs in the middle with the 50-50.
That's very true. I will give you that. If it stayed 50-50, then yes. Let me see where the poll is. Chat room, what do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Oh my God, this is the closest poll in the history of
Wrestleview?
of our polling on Wrestleview. This is it. This is election. This is an election day 2020 poll.
Wow.
It's 49% thumbs up, 51% thumbs down.
Oh.
Where are we at here? What am I doing here? What do you give it?
Okay, even though the first hour dragged.
Mm-hmm. And chat room, we want to hear what you think.
There was a lot of things I did enjoy. I liked the opening segment. Okay, I did like the triple threat match. I liked the New Day and the Hurt Business together. And I did like the handicap match at the end. Mm-hmm. So I will give it a slight thumbs up.
Okay. A tepid thumbs up.
A very tepid thumbs up. And also too because the Miz is being featured more on Raw.
Yes.
So I can't go against the Miz in the opening segment and in the closing segment.
Okay. All right. So that's Victoria's criterion right there. The Miz was in the opening and closing segments. So that's it. It's good. I'm also going to give it a thumbs up. I just am. I love that triple threat match.
Yeah, the triple threat match is really actually the key of why I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, the triple threat match was awesome. I love the tag match with the New Day versus the Hurt Business. I even thought the handicap match was really good, even though I hate handicaps matches.
And I like Randy Orton.
Just as a rule.
I love Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre.
I like it too. And the Fiend.
And the Fiend
stuff
and
was great.
And that's another thing too, actually. In all seriousness. The Fiend and Alexa Bliss, like that stuff is just really, really good.
They're absolutely killing it.
And that's why I do give it that, not just because of the Miz.
It's a thumbs up. Yeah, everything. Like, the big main title fight that they're building to. And I really hope, God, I really hope they don't botch it with some bullshit gimmick at TLC.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they do.
Me too.
I'm also looking forward because now November, I believe the end date for the lease on the ThunderDome is late. It's late November. I think it might be November 28th is their last day at the ThunderDome. They're going to need to find a new place to go. So there's a lot of interesting things to look out for this month. I'm wondering where TLC is going to take place right now.
Cool. We'll see.
Anyway, so let's look at the chat room here. Okay. So thumbs up from King of Huecamundo. I enjoyed the Miz and Morrison match. Andrew Elder gives a thumbs down for Raw, thumbs up for this show, and thumbs up for our neighbor's gobbledygooker. Did I say hi to Andrew tonight? Was he one of the names I said?
I don't know now.
Well, we have to say hi to Andrew.
Andrew, I like your analysis.
She does. Thumbs in the middle. Still on the fence about this one from Quentin Walters.
Quentin's the best.
Thumbs in the middle this time from Michonne Walls. It's tough.
Michonne, yeah, no, I agree, Michonne.
I mean, literally, it's like the bad segments and the good segments almost are all completely equal.
They are. It was very, very, and I don't know. I felt it was a very indecisive show.
Yeah. Plus, again, the last match, when it ended, the Fiend song was cut off before it got good. A little teaser gives you a little something to look forward to there.
Yes.
Billy Hefner gives it a thumbs up. All right.
Uncle Billy.
And now Quentin Walter says, and now I can go back to bed and recover some more.
Aww.
Hope you're doing well there. All right, everybody. On that note, we're going to wrap this show up. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for waiting with us through this damn power surge that we went through. We basically just had to wait for our internet to reset, and then we hopped on as fast as we possibly could. Luckily, it didn't last too long. I remember there was a show that we did. Remember, like the power actually went out.
Yeah, during.
So stupid.
So stupid.
Annoying. So sometimes, when you're doing a live broadcast, that's just how it goes.
Mother Nature.
Nafisa Dot says, have a good night. Yep.
Bye,
so we're going to wrap this up. Hopefully when we come on next week, the world won't be on fire based on election results. We'll see what happens. I hope not to be on fire as well.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So on that note, I'm Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com.
And I'm Victoria Tedesco.
Have a good night, everybody. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.